I mean, he's a real soldier, my sister said, raising her wine glass. Not a desk jockey. Her fiancé smirked beside her, towering in his decorated green uniform. My father chuckled. My mom covered her mouth as if trying not to laugh, but failed. I sat there in my navy dress whites, quiet, my fork untouched. Danielle, don't take it personally, my sister added with a sweet sneer. It's just that some of us serve with actual risk. Then she reached across the table and accidentally knocked her full glass over. Dark red liquid splashed across my chest and lap, soaking through the fabric. Oh no, she gasped. Guess your little badge couldn't stop that. The table erupted in laughter, except one person. Her fiancé had gone silent, rigid. His eyes had landed on the service insignia above my name tag. The bronze and silver embroidery shimmered under the overhead light. He leaned closer, squinted, and then his face went pale. No words, no blink, just cold realization. That's when I stood slowly. Excuse me, I said. I need to clean up. But the real stain in that room wasn't wine.
And he knew it.
I changed in silence, staring at my soaked uniform crumpled in the sink. When I came back downstairs, no one noticed I'd returned. They were still laughing, passing around my sister's engagement ring like it was a trophy. All except her fiancé. He hadn't moved. His posture was tight now, like a man who realized he just kicked a landmine. When his eyes finally met mine, they weren't smug anymore. They were alert. You served with the 7th Fleet? He asked quietly, almost like he didn't want anyone else to hear. My sister rolled her eyes. Don't flatter her, Jake. She filed reports in an office. He ignored her. Where were you stationed? I sipped my water. Okinawa. For 5 years. Then Diego Garcia. He swallowed. Hard. Special clearance? I nodded once. And that's when he went completely still. Because he understood. He recognized the insignia. Most people wouldn't. But Rangers like him? The ones who had ever worked joint ops? They knew what that badge meant. Top secret missions. Combat coordination. Signals intelligence. Real risk, with zero public recognition. I could see the blood draining from his face. He turned to my sister. You didn't tell me she was Navy intel. And she blinked. She's what? The room went dead quiet. My sister looked between us like we were speaking another language. What's the big deal? She laughed, uncomfortable now. She files paperwork. She didn't do anything. Jake leaned back slowly, eyes still locked on me. You coordinated missions, didn't you? I said nothing. You worked live theater, real-time intercepts. That insignia is only authorized for field ops. My dad scoffed. You mean what, like radio stuff? That's not the same as boots on the ground, son. Jake's jaw tensed. With respect, sir, sometimes the boots don't come home without someone like her. My mom tried to smooth things over. Let's just eat. Danielle, no one's attacking you. But I wasn't waiting for their approval. I turned to Jake. You ever serve Kandahar, 2019? He blinked.
Yeah.
Second rotation. I thought so. I saw your unit's code in the live op logs. He stared at me like I was a ghost. My sister slammed her hand down. What is going on? She's not some hero. She never even told us about this. I looked at her, calm. Because it wasn't for you to know. That silenced her. Not because she understood, but because Jake did. And he wasn't looking at her like a fiancé anymore. Dessert was served, but no one touched it. Jake's chair scraped back. Excuse me, he muttered, stepping outside onto the porch. I saw him pull out his phone. He paced. Then stopped. Then just stared into the dark. My sister followed him out. I didn't hear their conversation, but I saw enough. Her gesturing. His refusal to make eye contact. The way he recoiled when she tried to grab his hand. Inside, my father leaned over. You always do this, he hissed. Make things about you. Couldn't let your sister have her moment. I met his eyes even. I didn't say a word until she dumped wine on my uniform. He waved it off. She was nervous.
You know how she is.
That was always their excuse for her. You know how she is. No one ever asked how I was. Not when I came back from ops sleep-deprived and shaking. Not when I stayed up nights, intercepting coordinates that saved men like Jake from ambush. Not when I sent flowers for their anniversaries and got silence in return. Just then, my sister re-entered, eyes red and jaw tight. He left, she spat. Said he needed time. Then she turned on me. What the hell did you say to him? I didn't say anything. I replied calmly. He recognized the truth. That's all. She scoffed. Truth? Please. You sat at a desk. You're not a hero, Danielle. You're just a sad, invisible little woman trying to feel important. Mom and Dad didn't stop her. They just sat there, silent, which somehow was worse. But I didn't flinch. Not this time. I stood up, slow and steady, and walked to the sideboard. I pulled open a slim folder I'd brought and placed it gently on the table. Inside, a redacted letter of commendation, stamped with a Naval Joint Forces seal and a silver photo, framed in glass. A covert group Ops 6 faces blurred, one face not mine. Standing in full gear beside a downed helicopter in the Hindu Kush. My sister stared, confused. Dad frowned. What is this? I looked at them all. This, I said, is the operation your future son-in-law was pulled from when his extraction point got compromised. My team rerouted live GPS feed mid-mission and sent in the backup bird. He doesn't owe me anything, but he remembers. My sister looked rattled.
So, what now?
You're gonna steal him from me. I shook my head slowly. I already did nothing. And that was enough. 2 days later, Jake showed up at my base unannounced. Not with flowers. Not with apologies. With questions. I looked you up, he said. As much as I could. Some of it sealed. But what wasn't? Danielle, I don't know how many men owe you their lives. I didn't respond. I let the silence say everything. He looked nervous. I proposed to your sister thinking I knew who she was. I didn't. Not really. I raised a brow. And now, I know who you are. I saw how she mocked you in front of your own family. I saw how they let her. That's not love. That's a performance. He looked down at his hands. I don't think I want to marry into a stage play. I leaned back. That's your choice. But don't use me to justify it. Walk away, because it's wrong. Not because something else feels right.
He stood.
Understood. As he left, he paused in the doorway. For what it's worth, he said, thank you for then and now. After he left, I sat alone. Not triumphant. Not smug. Just clear. Clarity was better than revenge. Because now the truth was doing all the work for me. By the end of the week, the news was out. Jake had called off the engagement. My sister was inconsolable, crying to anyone who would listen, twisting the story. She manipulated him. She sobbed on social media. My sister lied about her military history to impress him. But the problem with lying about someone is when that someone has documented clearance. I didn't post anything. I didn't respond. But Jake did. He left a single comment under her dramatic post. You mocked a decorated veteran in front of your family. I didn't walk away because of her. I walked away because of you. Her followers turned on her fast. Not in a cruel way, just a quiet, disapproving exodus. And suddenly, her world didn't seem so curated anymore. Mom texted me once. Just a single line. You humiliated your sister. I didn't reply. Because I hadn't. She did that herself. I just existed long enough for the truth to surface. I wish I could say I felt satisfaction. That I watched her fall and smiled. But the truth? I mostly felt peace. Because sometimes you don't have to burn bridges. You just have to let people cross them with matches in their own hands. A month later, I got a letter in the mail. Handwritten. No return address. But I knew the handwriting immediately.
Jake.
He didn't ask for anything. Didn't confess love. He just said one thing that stayed with me. You carry silence like armor. Not to hide, but to protect people who never deserved it. I sat with that sentence for a long time. because he was right. I didn't speak up for 8 years, not during holidays, not through insults, not even when they turned my service into a joke. I stayed quiet for the sake of peace. For family. For illusion. But peace isn't real if one person is choking on it to keep everyone else comfortable. That dinner? That night?
It broke something.
And in breaking it, it freed me. I moved to a smaller city after that. Quiet place. Started teaching at the base academy. I mentor younger women now, the ones who don't speak, who think silence is strength. And when I'm asked about my past, I tell them this. Sometimes, the loudest thing you'll ever say is nothing at all. Let the truth echo for you. Let time sort the noise. Let their shame do the talking.